Great. So can any one of you tell us, like briefly, which future forms have you been seeing until now?
One form I think is present continuous.
Yes, that's right. Well, I also wanted to ask, have you already seen all the future forms, or are you still with future forms now?
We're still looking at them.
Ah, okay, great. So I think that we can start now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, here are the 4 main well-known future forms. Here are the 2 ones which are predictions, and the second one are intentions. Will, to explain in a easy way, it's something that you're going to do in the future, but you are not sure if you're going to do it. What happened with going to is that you are sure that it is going to happen. Ahora se lo explico de otra manera. Cuando ocupamos el will, es como aparece acá, como prediction, forecast o spontaneous decisions. Esto quiere decir que son decisiones que uno toma en el momento o cosas que uno va a hacer en el futuro, pero no está seguro de esas. En cambio, el going to es para intentions, previously made decisions, and something that's likely to happen. El going to es para cuando nosotros estamos seguros o cuando hemos tomado decisiones con anticipación. O para algo que nosotros estamos casi seguros de que esto va a pasar. Un ejemplo de esto puede ser, por ejemplo, con el will. Uno despierta y dice, I'll have dinner out. Voy a cenar afuera. Es una decisión que tú hiciste de manera espontánea, que no tenías anticipación o un plan sobre esto. En cambio, puedes decir, I'm going to have dinner with Antonia on Friday. En este caso, estás preparando el plan, porque estás planeando desde hoy que el día viernes voy a cenar con Antonia. Do you notice the difference between will and going to?
Remember, guys, that if you have any doubt, you just can interrupt us and just ask in Spanish or in English, whatever option.
El
be
will
good.
es como que está más lejano que va a pasar que el going to.
Más que lejano, yo diría que hay que medirlo según la certeza que uno tiene de que va a realizar algo en el futuro. Por ejemplo, si yo digo going to, es porque yo estoy segura de que va a pasar sí o sí, porque ya lo planeé, ya lo agendé, va a pasar. En cambio, el will es como una decisión que yo tomo recién, así como hoy tengo sed, voy a ir a buscar un vaso de agua. ¿Se entiende? En cambio, el going to es como hoy en la tarde, no sé, tengo una hora al dentista, supongamos. Es algo que uno sí o sí va a hacer. Entonces, cuando uno sí o sí va a hacer algo, ocupa el going to, pero cuando no está tan seguro o cuando recién toma la decisión, que es como más se usa cuando recién se toma la decisión o cuando uno ofrece algo, generalmente porque otra persona se encuentra en una situación en la que uno quiere ofrecer algo, ocupa el will, porque es algo reciente, algo momentáneo. No sé si se entiende.
Sí.
Súper. ¿Otra duda? No. Para seguir con los siguientes. Ya,
Entonces,
recuerden que cualquier duda nos interrumpen.
sí,
Como
en
el
todo caso,
Diego, que me acaba de
vamos-
interrumpir.
Ya, sorry. Sorry. Ya, en todo caso, después vamos a ver ejemplos de cada uno y cómo diferenciarlo de manera fácil.
Okay, so let's move to the present tenses for future forms, which are present continuous and present simple. Okay, so we are using present continuous when we talk about arrangement or plans that we already decided to do. Like, there are some examples. They are flying to Australia tomorrow. Okay, that's an arrangement, that's a plan. So we use present continuous. On the other hand, we have present simple, and this is a tense we use specifically with timetables or schedule or repeated events. Like timetables is commonly used for maybe with bus, with train, like it says, movies, theaters, tickets, or also with schedule or repeated events. Schedules, for example, I have English classes every Monday, for example. Or repeated events, maybe to talk about Christmas, Halloween, and so on and so forth, because are repeated events. Does it make sense to you? It's clear?
Yeah.
¿Ya? Igual lo voy a tratar de explicar un poquito en español como más sencillo. El presente continuo lo ocupamos para planes, ¿ya? Solo para planes, un poquito parecido al will, digamos, como un plan que tenemos o que surgió recién o que ya lo decidimos hacer de antes, ¿ya? Planes o citas médicas, por ejemplo, se utiliza alto el present continuous para hablar del futuro, ¿ya? Y el presente simple se utiliza más como con detalles específicos. Por ejemplo, como les decía, el timetable, como uno va al cine y tiene ciertos horarios para escoger o para hablar de como los horarios que uno tiene, que son siempre los mismos, ¿ya? Entonces, ese es el sentido, que en el presente simple lo ocupamos para hablar de timetable, schedule, repeated events. En cambio, el presente continuo lo ocupamos para arrangements o también para planes que recién vamos a hacer. Por ejemplo, I'm leaving the school. Yo ya dejé la escuela, ya me fui de la escuela, digamos, I already leave the school, but I am still leaving the school while I came home. Durante todo el trayecto que yo voy yéndome de la escuela y me estoy yendo a casa, es una acción futura porque estoy dejando la escuela, pero ya la dejé, pero la sigo haciendo hasta que termine la acción. Por eso la ocupamos también en el sentido, digamos, del futuro, en un contexto futuro. ¿Dudas? ¿Consultas? ¿Alguien quiere decir algo? ¿Hacer algún comentario? O que expliquemos alguno de estos cuatro de forma más profunda, porque nuestra idea ahora es hacer una actividad pequeña que tenemos utilizando estas cuatro future forms, pero también si quieren como ver ejemplos o verlo estas cuatro de forma mucho más personalizada, también tenemos diapos que siguen a esta imagen, que con cada una de estas explicadas ya más a fondo. Así que la decisión es suya. Si quieren practicamos al tiro o si quieren dejamos la actividad, por así decirlo, para la próxima semana y esta semana vemos la parte teórica, digamos, de las future forms. Ustedes deciden. No sé qué opina Diego. Porque como no han terminado de pasar las future forms.
Yo creo que como aún la han terminado, podríamos darle un breve repaso y de darnos el tiempo podríamos hacer la actividad. Levanten los thumbs up si creen que sería bueno eso.
Ustedes deciden, ustedes deciden.
¿Cuál era la pregunta?
Si vamos, sí, ¿qué prefieren? ¿Que le demos un repaso a cada una de estas con un poquito más de explicación cada una? ¿O si ya las tienen claras y les gustaría practicar con una actividad?
Igual el PowerPoint lo vamos a subir después y todo. Y por supuesto, si tienen más dudas, nos pueden hablar o escribir o como gusten.
Ya, Valesca, hice repaso. Ya. Ya, démosle un repaso entonces.
¿Sí? ¿Están todos de acuerdo? Pongan la manito. Thumbs up. No hay thumbs down, pero...
Ya. Here we go.
Ya, vamos. Let's go, guys, with present tenses for the future, which is, we were just talking about it. And the first one we have is present continuous. So we used, for example, I am doing, to talk about arrangement we have already decided and plan to do. Example, Diego is traveling to Germany next week. So I have the arrangement, which is a travel, and it's something already planned and already decided. That's why we can use present continuous, okay? And remember that the present continuous is the verb to be plus the main verb with ing. And then we have this another form to talk about present continuous, which is to talk about actions just before we began to do it, as I was explaining before. It's about actions that we just decided to do. For example, are you coming home? And I answer, yes, I am leaving school. So I am just start leaving the school. I left it, but now I'm just going into my way to home. So that's the future connotation in this tense. Okay, so 2 ways to talk about present continuous, about arrangement or plans, and to talk about actions just before we begin to do it. On the other side, we have the present simple, and we use present simple, like for example, I do, to talk about timetables or programs, like for example, to talk about public transportation, cinema, theater, etc. For example, my bus leaves at 11 o'clock tomorrow morning. I am using the present tense to talk about the future, okay? And the other way we can talk about future with the present simple is to talk about scheduled or repeated events, like I was explaining before, a class, Christmas, a job interview, etc. And an example is, I have a German class on Mondays. This would correspond to a scheduled event because I will always, during, I don't know, 1 semester or 1 year, I'm going to always have German classes on Mondays. So to talk about this, I use the present simple form. I don't know if you want to ask something, if you want to add something, if you want anything, just let me know, okay? Any question before we move on? Or maybe we can move on, and if you have questions, you just ask them.
So let's continue. Well, this is the next form, which is going to. As I already told you, that form is used to express something that is already decided, something that we intend to do it. So we are almost 100% that it is going to occur. An example, the car is so dirty, I'm going to wash it. That person is sure that his or her car is so dirty, so he decided to wash the car. Another example, when something is going to happen in the future. An example, it's cold outside and you don't have a jacket. You're going to get sick. This is very probably to happen because if you are just wearing a t-shirt and shorts, probably you're going to get sick if it's so cold or it's raining, for example. And another example is that we use I was going to do something, I intended to do it, but I didn't do it. That example, it's when you were going to do something, but you didn't do it. For example, I was going to sleep early today, but I didn't. Otra forma de explicarlo, ahora un poquito en español. La primera es para decisiones que uno tiene hechas de antes. Por ejemplo, el auto estaba sucio, entonces decidí lavarlo. La segunda es para cosas que uno está casi 100% seguro de que van a pasar. Si está frío y uno no está abrigado, es casi 100% probable de que uno se va a enfermar. Y la última es cuando uno está seguro de hacer algo, pero no lo hizo. Y aquí hay un ejemplo. I was going to sleep early today, because la persona lo había decidido, but the person didn't. And the other one is the will. We use will when we've decided to do something, but in that moment. For example, what would you like to drink? I'll have a cup of coffee, please. In this case, a friend, for example, could ask you if you want something, and you, in that moment, have to decide what you are going to take. So you said, I will have a coffee, I will have a tea, etc. Another example, did you call Teresa? Oh no, I forgot, I'll phone her now. So you just remember that you didn't call her. So you have to call her right now. It's a spontaneous decision. And well, another use is when we think something. It's an expression. For example, I feel a bit hungry. I think I'll have something to eat. Because in that moment, you think the action that you're going to do. But in both cases, as I told you, it's spontaneous. And another example, another way to say it, it's in a negative form. The negative form of will is will not or won't. And an example is, I can see you're busy, therefore I won't stay long. In this case, the person is seeing that the other one is so busy. So the person decided to don't be there anymore. That's the negative form. And well, those are examples of will and going to. One is when you are already decided something to do, and the second one when you decide in that moment. So, do you have any question in español or in English?
Why will is considered a future form? To me, it sounds like something that a person does every day.
It is a future form because you are deciding what you're going to do in a short time of future. For example, the first example, what would you like to drink? I'll have a cup of coffee. So you decided to have a cup of coffee, but this cup of coffee, you are going to drink it in some minutes after that action. Aquí te pregunto si quieres una taza de café, o sea, si quieres algo para beber, y tú dices una taza de café en ese momento, pero la taza de café la vas a tomar en unos minutos. Y en el segundo ejemplo, cuando te preguntan si, did you call Teresa? No, I forgot it. I'll phone her now. En este caso, le está diciendo que lo olvidaste. Esa es la acción en el presente. pero viene el futuro cuando dices que la vas a llamar ahora. Porque eso va a ser después de que estás hablando con esa persona. Va a ocurrir, puede ser unos minutos, una hora, y va a ocurrir la acción.
Okay. Mm. Okay.
Is there any other question?
No, thanks.
Okay. Well, we're going to upload this PPT presentation if you want to review this content. And this presentation have another form, which is shall. Have you ever heard about shall or learned during this semester?
Mm,
¿La han visto como contenido? ¿Esta?
Quizás en
Well,
idioma.
I heard a bit of shall.
Okay. And did you saw it in grammar or in another subject?
Mm,
I don't remember seeing it in grammar. I remember seeing it in phonetics.
Oh, okay.
Okay, well, as a brief explanation, if you want to learn about shall, you can read this PPT. But as I resume, shall is where when we are going to ask in a polite way to do something in the future. For example, when you ask something to go, you can say, shall we go? This is a polite way to ask someone to do something in the future.
And
shall-
also, yeah, sorry. And also, as it says, it is used especially in offers or suggestions. Okay, you use it mostly when you want to offer, when you want to suggest, when you want to ask for someone's opinion, you use shall. And commonly we use it with shall I or shall we. Those are the most used pronouns with shall. And also here you had some examples. You can use shall in the same way you use do. There you have the comparison. Shall I open the door? That would mean, do you want me to open the door? You are asking, shall I do this? Like asking what the other person thinks about you doing that action. I don't know if that's clear or if that makes sense to you. Yes, no, say something. Okay, great, thank you. So I think that maybe we can leave the activity for next class. What do you think? I mean, next assistantship, not next class.
Anyway, the activity is that you have to answer 10 questions in an online game. Just that. So you want to do it right now or next assistantship, as Antonia already told you?
You decide again.
By online game, you mean Kahoot
No,
or another one?
it's another platform.
It's called Word Wall.
Yeah, you just have to feel like filling the gaps. It's like a fill in gaps activity.
Okay.
Okay, so in the chat, Andrea says, whatever the response is, I'm fine with it. So I guess that you can just put now or next week, because I understand if you're tired or if you had some things to do. Okay, we have one vote for next week. It would be great if you all respond. Okay, so there are 3 people saying they want to do it next week. So I guess we'll do it next week. We are going to do it next week.
Yes, that is. So guys, ¿les quedó alguna duda final sobre alguno de los formas del futuro?
No.
Okay, that's great. Thank you a lot for coming. You can tell your classmates if they want to see these, they can do it. It will be available on ADECA, and the recording, the PPT, everything will be there in the assistantship course. So thank you very much for your time, and thank you very much for coming here today.
All right.
See you guys. Have a good rest of your day.
Yes,
Goodbye.
have a good
Bye
weekend.
bye.
Bye, see you all
Bye. Thank you.
next week. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Stop.